And if you're liking what you're seeing, then consider supporting and following us on these other platforms as well. And it always is a good thing if you subscribe and turn on all notifications. Now, eggnog is something that people either love or they completely hate. And I fall more towards the love part. I like eggnog. I don't love it, so I'm in my own category. But this is going to be a perfect dish for people who love or like eggnog, because this is a nice eggnog creme brulee. So we're starting first by adding our eggnog into our saucepan. And the idea is to bring this up to a gentle simmer. We want it not to boil, just get hot. Now, of course, if you're not a fan of eggnog, then just use heavy cream instead. You can see now that the eggnog has started to steam up and the simmer should be right around the corner. You can see those little bubbles that came up, and that's when the simmer barely just began. Now, while that eggnog is cooling down, because we want it to be hot and not scalding hot, we can work on our egg yolks. Add your sugar into your egg yolks and we want to whisk them until it becomes light, fluffy, and pale. Of course, you could have used a larger bowl than what I'm doing. I don't know why I always do this. Just makes it harder for myself. Now, this step here is critical to ensure that there are no lumps in your final creme brulee. So let that eggnog get from scalding hot to just hot. 5 to 8 minutes of just sitting on the side will help to bring that temperature down. And then you want to pour slowly as you constantly mix. Now, having a pot with a pour safe lip around really helps. Otherwise, you can just use a measuring cup. But as you're mixing, you can see that I just always move that eggnog and egg mixture all the time. Now, in case you did get lumps, here's how to remove them as a precautionary measure. But you can see the way that I did it, I got no lumps. Just strain it through a sieve and remove anything else that the sieve caught. And I'm just filling it up to the lip. The first lip at the bottom there. You can see like a bit of a rim down there. Now, I'm baking multiple sizes of creme brulees, of course, and of course, because of that, they're gonna each have a different baking time. So putting this in the oven, this is what I would recommend so that you don't make a mess and ruin this entire batch. Get the baking sheet and then place the ramekins on them. Then you just move that into the oven and then you add in your hot water. That way, the risk of the water sloshing around into the ramekins will essentially be mitigated. Once they're done baking, you can see what this looks like. And because we're using eggnog, it is going to look darker once it's done baking than just regular creme brulee that's made with heavy cream. The center should have almost like a jelly or jello-like consistency when you shake it. If it's too wet, then let that bake for a couple more minutes. Then you just want this to chill in the fridge for at least 4 hours or overnight, and make sure to wrap it up before you refrigerate. Now, if you've made it this far into the video and you don't have a baker's torch and you're just realizing that, then don't worry, because you can finish the creme brulee under your broiler. You just have to keep a closer eye because things can cook and brown really fast. And then to torch it, just add in some sugar over the top and then use a brush and just very lightly spread it evenly all across. And the key to bruleeing it without burning the sugar is, for me, just using the edge, the very edge of the flame to melt the sugar. So don't stick the flame right against the sugar. Stay back and then just watch how the flame is interacting with the sugar. And if it starts to brown, you can either like move back or focus on another side. And then you'll get this gradual browning and caramelization of that sugar. And once you've bruleed it and the crust has formed, just add in a quick sprinkle of gingerbread spice. And once it's cooled down, listen to this. I'm gonna break into it now, and it's gonna be so worth it. Take a look. And you see, that's the texture that you want. It's like a very thick pudding, custard-like texture on the inside. And that crispy crust and the pudding is what makes a great creme brulee. So Merry Christmas everyone, and Happy Holidays for everybody else who are not celebrating Christmas, because it's gonna be a fun time regardless getting into the new year. And if you can't get enough of eggnog in your life, then why not try my eggnog latte recipe to keep you warm this winter?